Hey guys, Rob here with McDojo Life. In today's McDojo Breakdown, we're going to be debunking some of the most crazy supernatural claims in martial arts. Let's check them out, then let's break them down. Over the years of debunking martial arts frauds in the industry, I've seen some pretty ridiculous and outlandish claims. So-called masters who have been able to manipulate people into believing that they have supernatural abilities and powers. Today we're going to go over just a few of those and show you how the tricks are done, or if they're even actually possible at all. Let's get started with catching a sword with your bare hands to defend yourself while someone's actually trying to attack you with a sword. Catching a sword with your bare hands is something that's been perpetuated in martial arts lore for a very, very long time. Take, for instance, this guy. This is Hatsumi Sensei. He's the leader of the Debunking. And as the leader of the Debunking, he's shown some pretty ridiculous things over the years. In one of those demonstrations, he's grabbing the blade in such a way that it's actually making his opponent or his uke fly around the room and fall all over himself. Here, check it out. Ridiculous, but it's not just isolated to Hatsumi Sensei and the Debunking. This is something that's been spread through different martial arts organizations. It's absolute nonsense, but I'll show you another example. This example right here, you'll see the video I'm about to play where a gentleman is actually grabbing the sword like he's clapping to catch it, and then he's magically able to disarm his opponent. Let's go ahead and check it out. This is ridiculous. Mythbusters back in the day already debunked this. On this episode of Mythbusters, they actually developed and put together a machine specifically that would catch the blade at the perfect time that the blade would cross in between the hands, and that the hands would clap in order to try to stop the blade. This, of course, did not work, proving that it's utter nonsense. Check out the video.
It's a timer, and this will give me millisecond resolution so I can dial in the delay exactly.
Once again, the sword slips through our ninja's fingers.
The hands came together at the perfect time with the most human strength we can muster. It still couldn't hold on to it.
As you can see, the machine specifically built to do just that. The only purpose of that machine was to catch the blade in motion. Still couldn't do it. And as you can see, actually tore through the hands, the simulated hands anyway, of the machine, proving that that's utter nonsense. Next up on this list, we're going to talk about telekinesis. Telekinesis is defined as the production of motion in objects as by a spiritualistic medium without contact or other physical means. A lot of times when you hear telekinesis mentioned on this channel anyway, it's usually referred to as chi. Someone's using their chi, they're projecting their chi, they're using their chi to move or pull or push. Nonsense. I actually have a few examples of these, and I want to show you the examples, and then I want to show you how it's done. Let's start with how to put out a candle using your chi. This is an old bit that's been done to death for hundreds if not thousands of years, where there's a fraudulent martial arts instructor who tries to convince the masses that he can punch and project his chi energy into the candle, putting out the flame. Here's one example of that right now.
The mind is thinking it has to physically blow out the candle, which is impossible. I put myself, I extend my consciousness into the candle. Actually, what my CP told me is, you're giving energy to the candle, so it becomes more difficult, because now the candle has all this chi. Once you knock out one, it's like, yeah, you want to do it again.
And here's me doing the same thing. How did I do it? It wasn't with chi, it was just the wind. It's just the air being projected. It's easier when you slap. It's not hard to do. It has nothing to do with chi. Absolutely any one of you could do this, and it's not that even hard to do. It's not really impressive at all, to be honest, and I'm not sure why anybody makes this a standard of a demonstration that they do. It's just wind. Continuing down that path of nonsense, I want to introduce you to a guy that we've covered before. This is Sifu Aminjani. Sifu Aminjani has claimed to have telekinesis powers. He's claimed to have pyrokinesis powers. He's claimed to have a lot of kenosis. He claims to know a lot that he could do with his mind. In one of the videos, he claims that he's using telekinesis powers to move a piece of paper by drawing his hand backwards. Check it out. In one of his videos about telekinesis, he's showing that he folds paper and that he's pulling it with his mind. Well, funny enough, I actually did the same experiment. Let me see if I can do it. Let me see if I can do the same thing he did. All right, so in his experiment, he takes a piece of paper, all right? He folds that piece of paper in half, and then he sets it down on his counter, and then he uses his hand to move it using his telekinesis powers. He focuses on the paper and he's able to move it without actually touching it. So let me see if I could recreate that using my telekinesis powers. Let's see. I'm not touching the paper. Hopefully you can see that. And then I'm just going to pull and see what happens. Oh. Not touching it. Voila! Telekinesis powers. Once again, just air, easy to do. Absolutely any one of you could do it at home. It has nothing to do with telekinesis powers, and anybody who falls for that is somebody who's being taken advantage of by a con artist. Next up on the list of debunking people, this is Master Wolf. Now, in one of Master Wolf's videos, he claims that he can melt a water bottle using just his chi, which we debunked. So check out his video and then check us out debunking it. For this trick, all I needed was a water bottle and a heat gun. That was it. Now, in his video, I want you to listen to his video for a second. You're telling me it's raining that hard in your house? Look, I can make that same sound. Ready? Not that difficult to do. I can make rain sounds anytime I want. Why, do you ask, does this dude actually make rain sounds? Well, it's just as simple. the heat gun makes a lot of noise, so he needed to disguise that, so he just overdubbed heat, like the rain. Look, I'll plug this thing in. Oh, look, let me just make sure it's plugged. All right, so I'll plug this guy. Look, you can hear it. You can hear the heat gun, but with Hollywood magic, it's raining instead. It's not that hard to do, man. That one was quite ridiculous and easy to simulate. When it comes down to the world of telekinesis, I couldn't leave this next guy out. This is James Heydrich. When it comes to fooling people back in the day, James Heydrich was the guy. He at one time fooled scientists and royalty. He was able to fool people so well on a global scale that he was considered at one time the world's greatest psychic. One of the claims that James Heydrich was famous for was that he could move pages of a book without touching it. He can just use his mental telekinesis powers or his chi in order to move the pages of the book one at a time. James Heydrich was eventually debunked on a national television show. He was debunked by The Amazing Randy. The Amazing Randy was known for being the person who would debunk frauds and phonies in pretty much any industry because The Amazing Randy spent the majority of his life as a magician and knew how most of these tricks were done. Sometime after that had aired, James Heydrich was actually on a small documentary that was about himself, in which he actually admits that it was just a gag, that it wasn't real, that it was just a bit, and he actually shows you how it's done.
It's called power of suggestion. Once you get a person to actually believe he can do something, then perhaps he can do it. First of all, I'm not going like that, because that can be seen. I am taking air from inside and causing it to come out in a way to where nothing here shows. And if you can get the camera on my face, and you see this leave, it moves, but nothing here moves.
Another one on this telekinesis list is something that you'll see quite a bit, where it's people projecting their chi to stop people from running into them. And here's a couple examples right here. Now, this was actually debunked. It's been debunked a few times. The first time I really saw it debunked was the Yellow Bamboo Cult. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Yellow Bamboo Cult or not, but they actually believe that they can stop people from running into them with their chi. And this wasn't debunked just once. This was debunked twice. The first time it was debunked was actually by members of the Yellow Bamboo Cult themselves. Check it out. Now, you most likely remember that one because that was one that was pretty famous and went around the internet, but you might not have saw this one. It's where the Yellow Bamboo Cult was out on the beach and then a random person challenged them to see if they could actually stop him from running them over. And, well, it went probably how you think it's gonna go. Check it out.
He died.
They're losers.
Thanks, guys.
And our last debunk for the day, we're going to be discussing people being able to see while they're blindfolded or when they are blind. This particular case is probably the one that irritates me more than most others, simply because it's cruel. It is absolutely cruel to try to convince people who are actually clinically blind that you can help them see. Now, are there ways to help them get around? Sure. Are there ways to help them understand their surroundings better, walk better, handle money better, handle life better? Yes, but they're blind. They cannot see. So when I saw VibraVision and I saw that they were not metaphorically saying they can help people see, but actually saying they can help people see, I was super irritated at that. Some of the claims that VibraVision has, by the way, are they can teach the blind how to see colors, teach the blind how to read, and even teach the blind how to drive a car when they cannot see. You would imagine that Vibravision with those types of claims would be shut down by now. But unfortunately, they're still around. So I want to show you how this trick is done. Here's a little excerpt from the actual gag.
You can't see through that, is right, sir? No, you can't. How many fingers am I holding up?
All 4 of them.
No, there's 2. He can't see. I could take the blindfold, put it on, and I'll be able to see, walk around without walking into walls. You could hold up objects, fingers. I could tell you all of that. But I want you to be impressed with this. This is our see-through blindfold. Here, let me just give it a little adjustment here. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Now, you will be able to see how many fingers this time, sir?
3.
That's correct. Yep. You could do card tricks blindfolded. You could go around and find particular objects in a room during your show. And now you can't see through it.
Oh my God.
Now that excerpt is clearly not from Vibravision, it's from a magic shop. You yourself can buy one. I do believe it costs $16.99. All you have to do is go to that website right there and you can pick up this gag and you can do it to your friends as well. It's not going to actually help the blind people see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this particular video today. You got a little bit, some clips that I had already done before, but at the end of the day, I wanted to make sure that people who might be new to the channel or hadn't seen those previously got an opportunity to see all of those martial arts magic tricks debunked all in one video. Keep in mind, these are just a few of those tricks. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of videos out there of people trying to claim these supernatural abilities and manipulate people into believing some absolutely outlandish things to take advantage of them. This is the part in the video where I find out who did and who didn't watch the video all the way. So in the comment sections below, whenever you leave your comment, be sure to answer this question for me. What is your favorite magic trick you've ever seen? I'd love to know. As always, looking forward to the comments in the comment sections below. I really appreciate all you guys for the continued support. Thank you all for the likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, and all that other crap people online tell you to do. Keep the martial arts legit.